1045 WNXX Jackson, 1049 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on December the 28th, Monday. Today in Baton Rouge, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 73. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, Rod Walker of the New Orleans Advocate Times-Picayune will be here at 7:30. Our latest weekend winners at 8:15. AL.com's Matt Zenitz stops by at 9:30. Jeff Palermo of the Louisiana Radio Network at 9. And at 9:30, Northwest Florida head basketball coach Butch Pierre stops by. Follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. You can interact inside the Bayou 4 chat. Make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 1 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, good morning and welcome in to Off the Bench. Brand new week, the after Christmas edition. Troy LaBeouf filling in for the guys again this week. I'll be in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. No, don't boo. Got some good guests for you. Got some good guests with me in the studio as always. Matt Musso, Danny Cardenas. Guys, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Troy.
How was the Christmas?
Good. Much needed few days off there for your boy.
What were you? I bet you did you wreck leaving out of the parking lot at 6 o'clock on Wednesday?
I did not. But it would not have been good to be in my way at that point in the day. Let's just put it that way.
Danny, how was the Christmas?
It was great. A lot of time off, relaxed with the family. But all you can ask for.
You like that breakfast I brought you today?
Yeah, I love donuts.
I bring breakfast to my guys because they take care of me. Guys, I want you to think about it because at 8:45, you can tell me the best Christmas gift you got or best Christmas gift you gave someone.
Okay.
We'll get the callers involved. We'll get the YouTube chat involved. Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans, and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. We got a ton to talk about. Remind all of our sound on demand brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. You can check that out at 1045ESPN.com. Our YouTube channel, YouTube chat brought to you by Bayou Ford. Speaking of all things about that we have to talk about, let's get right to it with our headlines.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They're your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
The New Orleans Saints rushed for 264 yards and they beat their nemesis, the Minnesota Vikings, 52-33. Took them to the woodshed. They clinched their fourth consecutive NFC South title. The Saints finished with 583 total yards. Moose, I watched that game. I'm sure you watched it as well. And we're going to talk about the guy carrying the football for the Saints in a second. It didn't matter who was carrying or what play that the Saints ran. The offensive line dominated this football game.
Yeah, and you kind of hoped that would be the case. Minnesota up front is just not a very formidable task for a Saints team that, quite frankly, is among the elite in the NFL when it comes to their offensive line. And that was even with a couple guys out, without Andrews Pete and without Nick Easton. So, when you looked at Minnesota, their deficiency was clearly on the defensive line, and it was very much exposed. Saints were just shoving them off the ball.
Running behind that offensive line was Alvin Kamara. He rushed for 6 touchdowns and 155 yards to lead the Saints. He tied some NFL records for rushing TDs in a game. Rod Walker of the New Orleans Advocate and the Times-Picayune will be with us at 7:30. He's got a great article. He actually talked to the son of Dub Jones, one of the record holders of the 6 touchdowns in an NFL game. Talk to Dub Jones, who's still living. He's in his 90s. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Pels with him as well. So we'll talk to Rod Walker at 7:30. The LSU men's basketball team, they moved to 5-1. They outscored in-state foe Nicholls State 86-80 behind freshman Cam Thomas's career-high 29. Trendon Watford continues his outstanding play in the SEC. At some point today, when we get some time, I'll tell you why I think Trendon Watford will be the SEC Player of the Year. There's a lot of reasons for that to happen this season if he continues that play. Darius Days added 15 and 8. The Tigers played without point guard Javonte Smart. He was on the bench, just dressed in a warm-up, so hopefully he can get him back. The Tigers were scheduled to play Texas Southern, and former LSU assistant and interim head coach Johnny Jones, they had some COVID issues. Called Nicholls State, my alma mater, drove from Thibodeau, and they had a nice game between the two of them. The Tigers will host Texas A&M on Tuesday night in the PMAC to open SEC play. The Heisman finalists were named over the weekend. What's the theme here? SEC. 3 of the 4 are from the SEC. To no surprise, Alabama quarterback Mac Jones, 32 touchdowns and 76.5 completion percentage. Passing the football was one of them, along with Alabama wide receiver Devonta Smith, 98 balls, 1,500 yards receiving. Florida quarterback Kyle Trask, 43 touchdowns, over 4,000 passing yards. And Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who, because of what happened this weekend in the NFL, he is now locked in to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, unless the Jaguars completely flub that, because the Jaguars have locked in that number 1 pick. The Jets, we'll talk about the Jets. They may be a part of the weekend winners. Stay tuned for that at 8:15. Bama had 3 in the top 5. Najee Harris came in at number 5. The last time that happened, guys, 1964, where Army had Glenn Davis, who won the Heisman, Doc Blanchard, and Arnold Tucker, 3 of the top 5. The Pelicans played 3 games since we left the building on Wednesday, 2-1 over that period. Victories over Toronto and San Antonio. Their lone loss was to Miami. The theme, when the Pels gave up less than 100 points, they won the game. They gave up more than 100 against Miami. They held 2 opponents under 100 points. They've done that twice so far. They only did that 4 times the entire season last year. Catholic High Bears, they have won their 3rd title in 6 years under head coach Gabe Fertitta. They beat C.E. Bird 35-12 in the Division I state championship games at Turpin Stadium in Natchitoches. Did that yesterday. You can hear that game. That game was on 104.5 ESPN. We'll have Jeff Palermo on of the Louisiana Radio Network at 9 a.m. He's also a play-by-play CST analysis for the high school championship games. He'll give us a recap of Catholic High's win, and a preview of today's game. So, obviously, a lot went on, guys, since the last time we were here. And Moose had a chance to watch a little bit of the NFL yesterday. And, boy, I tell you what, the Jets, they're going to be part of my weekend winners. I'm just giving you that heads up right now. Don't take them. The Jets.
I guess they didn't want Trevor Lawrence, and
they don't want him.
They have made that perfectly clear by winning 2 games in a row now. I don't really understand the strategy. You got this far, just not winning a game. Probably just would have kept doing that.
They want Jamar Chase. We'll see. Devonta Smith. They need to get some playmakers around them. Obviously, they built their offensive line. We'll talk about that. We'll certainly talk about it. So, got a great show planned for you today. So, sit back, relax. I don't know if some of you are working, not working, whatever you're doing. We'll bring some good content to you this morning. In our next segment, I'll tell you why I think Coach Ed Orgeron should be absolutely giddy. It's not gritty. We'll talk about gritty as well. Why he should be giddy about his choices for his new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator's position. So don't go anywhere. This is Off the Bench.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills. Blaze Grills is headquartered in Baton Rouge. Shop on the web at barbecueguys.com. Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Shout out to everyone who took advantage of Accutem's great deals that they've been doing all season long at the halftime of every LSU football game. Text 31996, the word halftime. If you did, you got that $49 Tiger tune-up. So huge thank you to Agaton for hopping on the off-the-bench train and providing the customers with some excellent HVAC services throughout the entire year. But it doesn't end with football season. They're still there. And I mentioned customer service. Accutemp has over 1,200 reviews on Google with a 4.9 rating. Trust me when I tell you, once you work with Accutemp for the first time, I had them come out and do one of the tune-ups on my home, which are only $99 normally. You could have the deal was $49, but it's still only $99. But once I had to come out and deal with my home, I've never had such a painless experience in terms of people have to show up at a window of time or anything like that. Don't take my word for it. Go to AggutempBR.com and try them out for yourself.
Football's back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as the New England Patriots host the Buffalo Bills. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Hey, it's Musso wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays from everybody here at After Further Review and 104.5 ESPN. We're off for the next 2 days, but we'll be back Monday, December the 28th. So join us for AFR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by Coy's Diesel. Remember, you can find Coy and the crew online at coysdiesel.com. If you drive a light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck, stop in and see Coy today. as they can get you back up on the road and operating if you need to get down the road and up and moving today. They're on Airline Highway out in Gonzales. Great shop out there. Online, coysdiesel.com. Does it not matter what maker model, Ford, Dodge, Chevy. They can get to you 24-hour roadside assistance. They can make the repair to your diesel truck today. Online, coysdiesel.com.
Yeah, but what if I have an older vehicle, a newer vehicle? It doesn't matter. You go to coysdiesel.com, COYS. Immediately, you see the drop-down menu, year, make, and model. You find the exact parts that you're looking for. Again, emergency 24/7, emergency roadside assistance, coysdiesel.com. What if nothing's wrong? You just want to upgrade, right? They have all the parts to do that as well. Like you can even put NOS in your diesel vehicle, which I can't get away from because that is awesome. Go to coysdiesel.com today. That's coysdiesel.com.
Back on Off the Bench, Troy LaBeouf sitting in for Jordy and T-Bob, being tomorrow and Wednesday as well. Taking a look at the YouTube chat. Want to say good morning as well. Kenny Stalter, Bean, 9198 on Twitter. Morning, gents and ladies. Well, I guess, whatever. Bama Gump, morning to you. Todd Jones, good morning, Todd. Names are flying fast and furious for the openings at LSU. I would agree with that. We're going to touch on that in 1 second, Todd. Todd says, remember the long conversation Coach O had with Derek Mason after the Vandy game. Was he asking him if he wanted to come to LSU? Possibly. There's some stuff going on. Purple Borny, who's this guy? It's Troy LaBeouf. Purple Borny, good morning. Matthew Musso, AFR with Matthew Musso. So they're just pushing for you. Moose, not hosting this week. I think you have some different hosts coming in on AFR, right?
Yeah. I have other fill-in responsibilities this week in the afternoon that take me away from that. So, not this week.
You did a great job last week. Todd Jones asked Troy, would you punch someone if they move things on your desk? I know y'all can see it from the top view. I do like my desk a certain way. I've always been that way. I kind of, it's just my organization. It's just something about me. I like to have my notes handy. Everything is up there, but sometimes it's a little jumbled around. Now, I'll tell you, Moose, over this weekend, I was thinking about it in preparing for the show. We talked about some candidates, you and I, for the LSU offensive coordinator position, and now the LSU defensive coordinator position. Seemed like some new names have surfaced. Let's go to the offensive coordinator position first. DJ Mangus, an offensive assistant to Joe Brady in Carolina. This is a name that's starting to hit a little bit steam with, and I mean, obviously, Coach O should be absolutely giddy about the candidates he has for offensive coordinator first. We'll get to defensive coordinator in a second. DJ Mangus, obviously, he understands concept-wise what Joe Brady did at LSU. They're doing some of the same things in the NFL. They've added a few wrinkles, obviously, with Carolina. Carolina's had a tough season. They've had some injuries, many different reasons why Carolina hasn't been successful. The Saints will actually play Carolina. They flexed that game on Sunday with so many playoff implications. They flexed that game to the 325 slot. That'll be the Saints at Carolina. When we get Rod Walker on the next segment, we'll talk about the Saints' scenarios to still get the number one seed. And they still can get the number one seed, even though Green Bay just trashed Tennessee in the Sunday night game last night. So DJ Mangus is one of the guys. Graham Harrell is a name that's come up. And why does Graham Harrell's name come up? Where's he at, Moose? USC.
USC.
So we know the connections. Coach O really likes those connections when it comes to USC. I'm throwing Russ Callaway in there. He's an offensive analyst. I know some people may think I'm crazy. Could he be elevated to offensive coordinator? I think he could. And this is the reason why. He understands the spread. You see him on the sideline, just like you used to see Munoz on the sidelines, talking to the quarterbacks right next to Coach O, talking upstairs to Steve Ensminger, the offensive coordinator. He had Lanahan up there as well. I think Russ Callaway should be definitely considered for the offensive coordinator. Worst case scenario, Russ Callaway, passing game coordinator. This is another name I dug up over the weekend. Brian Johnson, the Florida offensive coordinator. He's a hot candidate. He's 33 years old. He's an up-and-comer. Obviously, we know Dan Mullen, a la Sean Payton probably calls all of his plays. Brian Johnson is part of that call package at Florida. He's a name I would watch. This is another new one. Phil Longo, North Carolina Tar Heels offensive coordinator. He's been in the SEC 2017 and 2018 at Ole Miss. He understands the spread offense. They're putting up a ton of points in North Carolina. Quarterback Sam Howell is playing as good as anyone. He's tutored that guy. He's mentored that guy. I think Phil Longo could be a great offensive coordinator here at LSU. And Jeff Grimes. I think Jeff Grimes should definitely be considered the BYU offensive coordinator. I know his name. Musa, I think you mentioned his name was mentioned with Boise State with Brian Harsin moving over to Auburn as the head coach. But those are my list of offensive coordinator candidates. Anybody kind of jump out at you, Moose?
DJ Mangus is very interesting. That's a guy, I mean, he played football with Joe Brady at William and Mary. I mean, the connection there is obvious. He was one of the, Brady was like, oh, he's definitely come with me to Carolina whenever he took the OC job there. So that is an interesting name for me as well. One that I'm surprised took as long as it did to kind of come up. He does have play calling experience as an offensive coordinator at William and Mary before coming to LSU as an analyst. So that is interesting, especially if you want to keep kind of that same system, that same mold that Joe Brady left you here with. It would make sense if you could go hire one of his people to do that. Russ Callaway, naturally, I would expect him to slide into at least one of those roles. But it is interesting with the passing game coordinator and offensive coordinator roles that LSU is running. That's a slippery slope because the guys have to mesh. Joe Brady and Steve Ensminger meshed perfectly. Scott Linehan and Steve Ensminger didn't mesh as great. So if you're going to keep that role, passing game coordinator, as a title and as a position on your staff, making sure the two guys mesh and can work together is just as important when considering the hiring process. So that is another reason why somebody like DJ Mangus might be a great candidate for LSU, because he's somebody who's been in the building. He's somebody who's already seen it work. He's somebody who the staff is familiar with, so maybe the meshing could be easier. When you look at Russ Callaway, again, a guy who's been in the building, been with the staff, so the mesh point could be easier there.
I think he should be in the mix either way.
I agree.
Worst case, passing game coordinator.
And then Brian Johnson is very interesting. I wonder, because I've seen his name come up a little bit too, I wonder if they could get him from Dan Mullen, because he's been with Dan Mullen for a very long time, back to their days at Mississippi State for a little bit.
This is why I think why.
I believe he played for Dan Mullen as well.
This is why I think why they could get him. Just thinking about it. As long as he's at Florida with Dan Mullen's going to have the play call sheet. Brian Johnson's going to be part of that, but he's going to have the play call sheet, kind of like the situation with the Saints. At LSU, Brian Johnson would be the play caller with help from the passing game coordinator and the offensive staff, but he would be the guy calling the plays, in my opinion.
That's true. I mean, that was definitely true at LSU. I mean, he would be the guy calling the plays. Absolutely. It's just it's how loyal is he to Coach Mullen would be mainly the main things. I mean, LSU can match Florida with money. That's not going to be a problem there, and it would just come down to really what he wanted. If that's their guy and they identify him as their guy, by all means, go get him, because look at the transformation that Florida's offense went under. And while he might not be the play caller, he definitely has a role in that transformation that Florida's offense went under this year.
Phil Longo?
That's an interesting one. He's done nice things with Sam Howell, the quarterback at North Carolina. Sam Howell's had 2 really good years as an underclassman. That's something you want to see continue at LSU, is the quarterback development, because they've got 3 really good quarterbacks already on the roster, and then you're bringing in Garrett Nussmeier, so you'll have 4 good quarterbacks, and to continue to see them be developed is something nice. So Phil Longo, absolutely. That's a name I would consider. I don't know if he'd be near the top of my list right now, but he'd definitely be on the list.
And Jeff Grimes' name continues to come up. I'm just not sure.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. I'm just not sure that's going to happen. Obviously, if Coach Craig stays on staff, there were some rumors out there. I see it just as a rumor of Craig maybe moving on, but I know some people feel like he hasn't done a great job. I think he's done a good enough job. I think he recruits well. I think Coach O is comfortable with Coach Craig, but obviously Grimes would fit in as an offensive line coach / offensive coordinator. So those are your offensive coordinator candidates. Could it be somebody else not on this list? Absolutely. I mean, I don't have the list that LSU has. Just doing some research and talking to some different people. I think those are some names that certainly they can start with. They're certainly not asking me and my opinion on it. Todd Jones says, and by the way, good morning to my buddy Shane Smith. Hey, Shane, how you doing, buddy? Brian Burgess. Todd Jones says, can LSU match money? Limited budget.
Everybody's got a limited budget.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's struggling for money now, so they can match money. It might not be as much money as people would normally match, but I mean, I don't think they're going to go out of their way either. I mean,
money
LSU,
can be found.
Yeah.
Money can be. The money was found to buy out Bo Pelini.
Auburn's paying Gus Malzahn $21 million to go away. You can find money and you can match money.
So, anyway, let's move on to the defensive coordinator position for LSU. Marvin Freeman. Was he contacted? Was he not contacted? That's the question. The rumors out there that he was contacted, he said no. Does that mean LSU's going to stop asking him? I wouldn't. I would continue to ask Marcus Freeman because I think he's an up-and-comer.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't care if he said no or not. He's got a bowl game to coach right now, and a pretty big one. They have a chance to go beat Georgia, and that chance gets better every single day when guys in Athens just continue to opt out of that football game. So, by all means, let him coach his bowl game. He can tell you no right now, but once that bowl game is over and you go knock on his door and you're going to make him tell you no multiple times.
Bring the bag.
Bring the bag, bring whatever. And he can tell you no right now all he wants. He's still got a job to do. He's still coaching football. So once he's done, you go ask him again. And if he says no,
ask him again.
You go ask him again. I mean, he's the hottest name out there. At least see if you can get him in for an interview and see where it goes from there.
If your goal is to bring Marcus Freeman in, you don't leave the meeting until you get him.
Right.
They did it with Nick Saban when they hired him at Alabama. Mal Moore, the athletic director, said, don't come back without him. Whoever was talking to him, Mal Moore, the president, the search committee, don't come back without him. And obviously, we know how that story goes. Derek Mason, supposedly, that came out when you guys were getting off, I think on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, that Derek Mason is a legitimate candidate for the defensive coordinator position.
Yeah, I mean,
I know he doesn't
it's
cite
still,
everybody.
No, and I don't think he's the guy for the job. I'm not making the hire, so it really doesn't matter. But everything anyone ever says is he's a great coach. He gets so much out of his players. He can transfer the message to him and everything. And so then my question is, why the struggle so much then? I understand Vanderbilt's talent isn't great, and I understand he did have some good defenses at Stanford. One of them finished in the top 10, and he was a finalist for the Broyles Award that year. But if he can get so much out of his players, how come even his lower-level talented teams weren't better than they were? Why are those teams still finishing almost dead last in certain defensive categories in the NCAA?
I think the message had become just no one was listening. It was such a bad situation in Vanderbilt. I do think he's a good coach. I think he understands how to coach defense. Is he my first choice? No. The first guy we talked about, Marcus Freeman, would be Will Muschamp, who was obviously fired at South Carolina. He's been a coordinator here. He's been a coordinator at several places. He's been a head coach at several places. Would it be the worst hire in the world? No. I think he's got a lot of fire. He kind of follows in the same footsteps of Pelini as far as a guy that really gets on his players, completely opposite of what Dave Aranda does. So, I don't know. Corey Raymond, I think he should be considered. He's a defensive back coach on staff. He's a top recruiter. I think he should be considered. I'm not saying he should get the job, but I think he should be considered. And last two, we got a couple seconds here. Ryan Nielsen, defensive line coach with the Saints. No, the problem is with some of these candidates we're talking about, you're not going to be able to talk to them till their NFL season is over with. If there are, as you mentioned, the bowl game is over with. That's really the catch in all this. Not quite sure if Ryan Nielsen is still trending toward LSU as a defense coordinator. The guy I really like, is Barry Odom, defensive coordinator at Arkansas. He's a strong defensive coordinator. You saw what he did with Arkansas. You saw what he did with Missouri. I think he'd be a great – and there's other candidates out there as well. So keep them coming, guys. We certainly love to hear your conversation in the YouTube chat. Brought to you by Bayou Ford. We'll take a timeout. On the other side, we'll talk to Rod Walker, Times-Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. He'll recap Alvin Kamara's unbelievable performance versus the Minnesota Vikings. He'll give us some Pels talk as well. We'll be right back. This is Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Go to LanoisAgency.com today, LanoisAgency.com for what, T-Bob? For your insurance needs, okay? You need to bundle your home and auto. You're a small business owner looking for protection. You need flood insurance. It doesn't matter. Lanois does it all. And there's a couple things that I really love about Lanois. The first part is that they will customize a policy for your specific needs. Recognize that my needs are not your needs, and Muso's policy. You get the point, right? So they're gonna customize policies for your needs. They're gonna actively try to save you money without you having to push them, without you having to lift a finger, right? During a challenging 2020 year, which everybody went through, right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get a call from Lanois one day. They're managed to save me a few $100. I mean, if you don't get that from your insurance agent, why don't you at least have the conversation with the boys and girls over there at Lanois? It's LANOIX agency.com. Go to LanoisAgency.com and see what they can do for you.
Football's back. Tune in Sunday as we kick off Week 17 in the NFL when the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers at noon. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves.
Join us for a Monday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Ivar Sports Bar. We give our take on Week 16 in the NFL. Saints clinch their 4th straight division title, and we look ahead to the rest of the week. Game Time, 6 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Back on Off the Bench, Troy LaBeouf sitting in for Jordy and T-Bob. Today, you got me today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So don't boo. We'll have good guests. We certainly have a good guest on the line right now. We bring him right up. Rod Walker, Times-Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. You can follow him on Twitter at Rod Walker NOLA. Rod, thanks for waking up with us. Good morning.
Good morning, man. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you, man. Love your work. Obviously, we're going to get to the Saints' big victory on Friday. Rod, I think that might have been the first time. Did I read that was the first time an NFL game was played on Friday? Am I right on that or am I wrong? Did I read that somewhere?
I'm not sure if it's the first time or not, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I got to go back and look that up. I thought I read that somewhere. That might have been the first time.
I know it's the first time the Saints played on Christmas Day, but that's pretty much all I know. I can't remember if it's the first NFL game played on a Friday.
Right. We'll talk about the Pels, 2-1 to start the season, but I want to talk about your article that came out, Times-Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. Alvin Kamara's big day made Dub Jones tied the record with Dub Jones. He scored 6 touchdowns, as Dub Jones did as well. Talk about that, how fun that was to be able to write that article when a guy that comes to mind, Dub Jones, who's still living, I'm pretty sure, and obviously his son is a pretty well-known guy as well.
Yeah, when the record was when Alvin broke the record, tied the record on Friday, you're looking up the names, and I didn't know who Dub Jones was, actually. I'd heard of Burt Jones, but had no idea that was his dad or anything. But I just started doing some research on Dub Jones and saw he was in the Hall of Fame, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, New Orleans Hall of Fame, and Tulane Hall of Fame. And when I saw that Burt Jones was his son, I was able to talk to some people who had Burt Jones' contact information. I tracked him down, and I was hoping I'd be able to talk to his dad. And I realized I knew his dad was 95, so I was like, okay, I wonder if these guys don't even remember it.
Right.
I just didn't know if that was. And he was great. If you read the article, he remembers the things. He's a big Alvin Kamara fan, which was just really cool to hear him say the things he said about Alvin. And yeah, he was very aware of the record and what Alvin was doing. And it was pretty amazing to talk to only 2 people on this earth that are still alive, that have scored 6 touchdowns in a game, and he was one of them. So it was just really crazy that both of those guys have Louisiana connections with him, and him being from Ruston and playing at LSU and Tulane, and then you got Alvin obviously playing for the Saints, and those are the only 2 people still alive that did it with, because Gale Sayers passed away back in September, and Ernie Nevers passed away years and years ago. So yeah, just pretty incredible that there are only 2 guys that have done that.
Let's talk about it. And visiting with Rod Walker of the New Orleans Advocate, the Times-Picayune, at Rod Walker NOLA. Rod, let's talk about Alvin's performance. Once he got to number 5, and then the Saints had knocked on the door again, he was not in the game. I'm sure everybody's thought was, why is he not in the game to get number 6? Obviously, we all know the Saints got another opportunity. He got number 6, but just talk about his performance, Alvin's performance, and obviously the performance of the offensive line, who were without 2 starters in the game. So Alvin had an unbelievable day.
Yeah, you look at some of the holes he was running through. They were just, just opening up big holes for him, and I can't. There's so many touchdowns, it's hard to even keep up. But one of them, Alvin just had this crazy balance and ability to break tackles, and it was just crazy to see it. And a lot of people saying, he could have scored 7, but I think if he had scored the one that Tyson scored, I don't know if the Saints, I don't know if they come back down and I don't know if the game plays out the same way. So I think 6 is probably as most he's going to get anyway. But yeah, just a great performance, and Allen sort of carried his offense all season. You look at Michael Thomas being out as many games as he missed, Drew missing the 4 games he missed, and Allen's been the one steady thing on his offense, and you have to credit him. And you also got to credit the offensive line. I mean, this unit has been banged up all year long. Seems like every game somebody's leaving the game. They have to reshuffle the offensive line, and they just continue to play pretty well. So that's a credit to the team, to the staff to the roster that Mickey Loomis and Sean and all of them put together.
Speaking of injuries, the Saints lost a big one. Linebacker Quan Alexander goes down. Looks like it is a Achilles, and we all know about that injury. That's a long rehab injury. Talk about the loss of Quan Alexander. What does that mean for the Saints?
That's a pretty big loss. I mean, Quan came in this, when they got him, I mean, he came in and stepped in right away. And him and DeMario had formed a really good tandem. And, you think about that game, and I think it was like 10 minutes earlier, they showed him and DeMario on the video board. They were dancing, just having a good time after one of the touchdowns right before kickoff. And then all of a sudden he's gone with an Achilles. And, those Achilles injuries, like you said, I mean, they're pretty devastating normally. And, but players will come back from them, but it takes a while. And, you hope he's back before the beginning of the next season, but it could. I mean, this is an injury that's probably going to, with it being so late in December, I mean, this is probably going to be, a little bit into the season before he gets back. But who knows? I mean, I probably shouldn't speculate on how soon he'll get back, but it typically takes, several months to get back.
That's a 9 to 12 month injury typically coming back from that.
Right.
I know Rankins had that injury. He came back faster, earlier than people had thought. But obviously, that's an injury that certainly will affect the Saints. The Saints scenario, number 1 seed still in play, folks. Don't freak out, because obviously Green Bay trashed Tennessee last night. And boy, were you thinking what I was thinking when you watched that Green Bay game? Just looking at all that snow, and what were you thinking?
Lambeau in January, right? You're just thinking about it. Man, it's snowing now. It's gonna probably be snowing in December, and you just don't want to have to go make that trip. But I mean, you look at how Green Bay was playing, especially in the first half. I mean, it was almost like they weren't even playing in snow. I mean, it was just normal for them. And,
it doesn't bother them. It just doesn't bother the receivers. I think the receivers have an advantage, Rod, because they know their routes. They know where they're going.
Right.
And the defensive backs do not. And the footing and everything else. So the scenario for the Saints upcoming, looks like they flex the Saints to 325. They want to get all of those big-time games in that late slot. Tell us the scenario for the Saints to get the number 1 seed still.
It's pretty simple. The Saints have to beat Carolina, of course. Seattle needs to beat the 49ers, and the Green Bay needs to lose to Chicago. And the one fortunate thing for the Saints is Chicago is playing for something. I mean, if Chicago can beat Green Bay, Chicago's in the playoffs. So they're playing for something, but that's the only scenario. And so, I mean, I think there's a chance. I mean, it's NFL. That's what happens. And there's another scenario where the Saints could fall to 3rd place, and that's if the Saints lose to Carolina and Seattle wins over the 49ers. Then the Saints will fall to the 3rd spot. But every other scenario, the Saints are the 2 spot, and if you were betting, I mean, you'd probably bet on the 2 spot. But again, there's a chance that the Bears can beat Green Bay. But Green Bay's playing for that 1 spot, so they're going to really be playing hard. And to me, they looked pretty good last night. I mean, they caught a break last night on a play on the sideline where a guy stepped out of bounds, but I don't know if that was going to stop Green Bay from scoring on that drive. They kind of got rolling there, but that definitely got the momentum back on their side when that play happened, when they spot the ball at the 7-yard line instead of back further.
Got about a minute left with Rod Walker of New Orleans Advocate. Time speaking to you, and let's move on to the Pels. I saw you were tweeting during the Pels game. Great coverage as the Pels win 98-95 over San Antonio. They go 2-1 to start the 3-game season stretch here. Give us a recap real quick of the Pels so far in the season.
I think, they won the season opener against Toronto in a game that was played in Tampa, and they kind of struggled on Christmas Day against the Miami Heat. And then last night was a game though against the Spurs that the Pelicans played really bad. I mean, they didn't shoot. They shot only 20% from 3-pointers, 30-something% on just from the floor. Period, and they still found a way to win. And that's something that last year probably wouldn't have happened. The Pelicans typically, if they played bad, they would typically lose. But this team is built a little differently, and Coach Van Gundy, credit him. I mean, he has his team playing great defense. They've given up less than 100 points in 2 out of their first 3 games. Last season, they did that 4 times the whole season in 72 games.
That's crazy,
so,
man. That is just crazy.
I know.
You just see the effort.
Yeah.
The effort is there.
Yeah, the effort's there. And that makes a big difference. It makes a lot of difference. The defense is all about effort. And you have these deficiencies on the offensive end. Defense covers up for that, and you're seeing it, and you see the results of it. This team being 2-1 when they, last year this team would be 1-2 after a game like last night, probably. Brandon Ingram has started out pretty good. Zion as well. That's a big 2 so far for him. 80 points, 26.7 average, 7.3 boards, 6.7 assists. He looks like a number 1 guy and like a franchise player. Oh, he does, man. It's incredible how much he got most improved last year, and one of the things he said last night after the game was, getting most improved player. That wasn't his goal when he came to the NBA. I mean, he has bigger goals, and he's definitely the leader of this team. And this team just knows what they're doing at the end of a game, and they know that he's their guy to close games out for them. And that was last year and in years past. I mean, this team was just sort of scrambling. You didn't know what you were going to get toward the end of the game. They were just kind of. I think they're just kind of running around, and you just didn't know. But now they look organized, and they have a plan, and it's just really better, man. And you got to credit Van Gundy for what he's done and he's done all this stuff without a normal training camp. I mean, this is a team that's been together for 3 weeks. They're going to continue to get better.
Rod Walker, we appreciate your time waking up with us, man. Great job as always. Want to wish you and yours a happy new year. We'll catch you next time.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, Rod Walker. Time speaking to you, NOLA Advocate. Does a great job. But you want to go check his stuff out at Rod Walker NOLA. If you want to talk about somebody that does a great job, our sponsor here that you're about to hear from, Donaldsonville Glass and Body, a number 1 collision center in the state of Louisiana.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body brings you the conversation each week here on Off the Bench and is a proud supporter of OTB, online dgbauto.com. Remember, if you need collision repair, you need to stop in and see Donaldsonville Glass and Body, 415 Division Street, as you can find them there. They're online at dgbauto.com. Not all about the collision repair, though they are the best in the industry if you want to find the best, just because of the customer service, really. They do the best work, but the customer service is really going to win you over. Like the 24-hour towing service. They come to the accident site. They come to where the car is, move the vehicle from the site back to the shop, make the repair. All of that stuff you can look online at dgbauto.com, 415 Division Street.
dgbauto.com, dgbauto.com, the best collision repair site in the state. I put that on everything, man. It is awesome. And like Jordy said, the tow from the accident site back to your home is completely free. And you get to hang out with Nick Frederick. What could be better? Go to DonaldsonGlassandBody.com, DonaldsonGlassandBody.com.
We'll put a button on hour number 1. After this time, I will come back for a short segment. Went a little long with Rob, but that's okay. It's Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Daily here, we're brought to you by All-Star Toyota. Remember, All-Star Toyota is online at allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. You can find the great inventory over there as All-Star Toyota brings you a great selection of SUVs, sedans, trucks. If you want to get into a hybrid model this morning, you can. If you want to lease a model like T-Bob is, very easy to do. Go see Aaron Piku and his sales team over at All-Star Toyota on the corner of Goodwood and Airline, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, remember, just a few days left here in November's Toyotathon. 2020 Camrys, 0% APR financing for 72 months. They got you. A 2021 Toyota Venza gets 40 miles to the gallon, just $750 customer cash back. They got you 2020 Highlander for 0% APR financing for 60 months. RAV4, you want a Tacoma with $1,000 customer cash? How about a 2021 Tundra, 0% APR financing again for 60 months? So what are you waiting for? Toyotathon is on. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
One thing you can always count on this time of year is Happy Honda Days at Richards Honda. With year-end clearance prices on every vehicle in stock. Save thousands on some of the best, most awarded vehicles on the road. And shop the way you feel comfortable. At the dealership or online with home delivery. So everyone can take advantage of Happy Honda Days. No wonder people call Richards Honda the smart choice. I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a national...
Hey, it's Gade Wazan. From our entire team at Hanging with Hester and Henny, Charles Hannegriff, Jacob Hester, Paul O'Neill, Josh Ward, and myself, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Join us on Monday from noon to 3, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off the Bench, our last segment here in the first hour. All of our sound on demand brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. Troy LaBeouf sitting in for Jordy and T-Bob. They'll get a couple more days off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll be off Thursday and Friday. And then the guys will be back to talk everything with you a week from today. 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, the YouTube chat brought to you by Bayou Ford. YouTube chat is on fire right now. Before we get out of here in the first hour, guys, that scenario we talked about with the Saints, they need a win. Check. I think that's going to happen at Carolina. What does Carolina have to play for? They shouldn't screw up their pick status, stay in that top 5 or wherever they are. I do believe Seattle will beat San Francisco, but it's going to come down to the Green Bay Packers at Chicago. The cold doesn't matter to either team, guys. Danny did confirm that is at Chicago, and Chicago absolutely has to win that game. to get in. The resurgence of Mitchell Trubisky. Can he beat the GOAT?
No. No.
You thought about it.
I mean, I thought about it and decided if I just wanted to be realistic or optimistic. Optimistic me says, of course he can beat Aaron Rodgers. And then realistic me, who just watched the Packers in the game that was probably their most likely to lose left on their schedule, win it 40-14. So, no.
Danny? Any shot?
I think it's gonna be close. The Bears are playing better. Their offense seems to be clicking right now, and they still have the defense, obviously, but I think they'll make it a close game.
We'll see. I got to give a shout out to my 13-year-old son, Camille, who is about to put a wrap on his fantasy football league. He's playing with a bunch of older guys. He needs 16 points from his defense and his quarterback, Allen, tonight for Buffalo. Then he's going to bring 600 bones into his bag. He's 13. Off the bench. We'll be right back.
Off the bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Secure Shredding and Recycling. Remember, you can find them online, secureshreddingandrecycling.com. Had a great lunch last week with Gaines Garrett and their crew. They've got exciting stuff happening over at Secure Shredding and Recycling. They are, look, man, they're independent. They're not this big box outlet. You can get in, talk to local people over there at Secure Shredding and Recycling. They are from the area. They understand what you're looking for. They're your document destruction specialists. They offer mobile shredding, drop-off shredding. Everything is online at secureshreddingandrecycling.com.
SecureShreddingandRecycling.com, SecureShreddingandRecycling.com. Hard drives, papers, whatever it is, they got your back. Mention Off the Bench, get a couple hard drives for free. But more so, it is. Look, they're there to serve your business needs. This is something that if you're in a business that has to have document destruction, you want to be working with Secure Shredding and Recycling. They're local, LSU grads, better rate than national guys, convenience, okay? They can destroy on site. They have drop-off points they can pick up and bring back to their facility, SecureShreddingandRecycling.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Good morning. It's Monday, December the 28th, 8 a.m. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 73. Still to come on Off the Bench, we give you our latest weekend winners at 8:15. AL.com senior STC football writer Matt Zenitz joins the show at 8:30. Louisiana Radio Network's Jeff Palermo stops by at 9, and at 9:30, we have Northwest Florida head basketball coach Butch Pierre. You can follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch the show live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. Make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and the Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
If you're just waking up, good morning and welcome in hour number 2 of Off the Bench. Troy LaBeouf sitting in for Jordy and T-Bob. They're on assignment, on vacation, having fun, spending time with family. Whatever they're doing, they're probably sleeping right now. Probably not. Jordy's usually up at 4 a.m. T-Bob as well.
Jordy's up.
T-Bob,
Jordy's
questionable.
up. T-Bob, I don't know, but Jordy's up.
Hopefully, they're getting some rest and relaxation. They come in next week. They have a lot to talk about. But up and at 'em with us is Matt Musso and Danny Cardenas. Danny Googling over there. We'll talk about that in a second. You guys caught him red-handed. Off the Bench presented by All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. All of our sound, including our interviews on demand, brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. You can go check that out at 1045ESPN.com. You can hear our interview with Rod Walker of The Advocate talking Saints and Pels. Saints with one game left to secure the number 1 seed. We're talking into existence, guys. Saints will be the number 1 seed. All those scenarios are going to happen. Everybody getting involved in the YouTube chat. Brought to you by Bayou Ford. And the big topic in the YouTube chat, guys, was Matty Ice. Matt Ryan, the quarterback from Atlanta. Atlanta absolutely choked again.
I was about to say, at what point does he lose that nickname?
Matty Ice?
I mean, it probably should have happened after the Super Bowl.
He played well. Pretty well. Okay.
When's the last time, though, that Matt Ryan has really struck fear in somebody at the end of a game with the ball in his hand?
I think he's a good quarterback. He's had a tough time. He's won some honors with the Falcons, but the honor that he has right now is everybody was Googling. When somebody brought it up in the chat, they were Googling his wife, Sarah Marshall.
Great name, by the way.
That's a movie, right?
It is, and it's a really funny movie. And I was just real confused when we Googled it. We Googled because Sarah Marshall and a bunch of pictures of Kristen Bell popped up, and I was like, "Well, wait a minute,
who's his wife?
He's not married to Kristen Bell.
That's Sarah Marshall or Kristen Bell?
That's Sarah Marshall,
That's Sarah Marshall,
the real Sarah Marshall. But
Right.
Kristen Bell plays a character in a movie named Sarah Marshall, so that was the confusion.
Yeah, I thought he was married to Kristen Bell, and that's why I said the comment.
You went straight to Google when somebody put it on there.
Yep.
That's fun though. I mean, you think she just got a lot of jokes? You think she heard it a lot? Like, oh yeah, Sarah Marshall movies.
Yeah,
when the movie
probably.
came out in 2008, good movie. Go watch it.
Emil McClellan, that's a tongue twister. in the YouTube chat brought to you by Bayou Ford. Matt Ryan's Super Bowl performance is so underappreciated. I would agree with that. He had a really good Super Bowl performance where he actually choked.
But
in
exactly,
that game.
that's the thing. You can't. I know he played well. He did. You can't be called Matty Ice though when you are part of a team that blows a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
You think he gave himself that name?
I'd hope not.
You ever had that friend back in the day would just give himself a nickname, his own nickname?
You can't do that though.
You got to be. I mean, you
have to. The
you got
nickname
to be
has
a
to be
dude.
given to you.
You got to be a dude
to give yourself the nickname.
Yeah, I mean, you got to
Okay.
really be a dude to do that. Speaking of dudes, there was a question in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat about Khalil Mack. Does he still play for the Bears? Yes, he does still play for the Bears. He was not real effective. Not it didn't make much of a impact yesterday. He had 2 tackles. He's a little injured right now, and the Bears could be the Saints' first opponent if the Saints are the 2 seed, because they would play the 7 seed. Remember, folks, 7 teams will be in the playoffs. The number 1 seed will be getting the bye. So the Saints will get the bye. Green Bay will be the 2 seed. Continue to talk that into existence. But Khalil Mack did play yesterday. Had 2 solo tackles. Didn't do a whole lot. Didn't need to do a whole lot. They were playing Jacksonville, and Jacksonville certainly, I don't know what they were doing, Moose. It was 10-10 at the half. I'm thinking to myself, what are they doing? Why do you want to give up the first pick? And they came to true form in the second half and got blown out.
They realized, what are we doing as well, and said, okay, wait, we're not the Jets here. We're not just going to give up Trevor Lawrence. We're gonna go all in, and then they end up losing 41-17 to the Bears. That's
speaking of losing.
I mean, DJ Chark had a great catch in that game, though.
DJ Chark's a good player. They certainly need a quarterback. They certainly need a quarterback. Speaking of losing, how about the Liberty Coastal game? I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it. So the game's tied, under a minute. Don't get into the end zone, Liberty. Don't get into the end zone. Tell your players, and I'm sure they did, Coach Hugh Freeze, we didn't bring him up as offensive coordinator candidate for LSU. He could be. They score they take the knee on the first snap inside the 5. The second snap, they hand it to the running back. He goes forward a yard or 2, and what does the defense do? They pull him in the end zone, which is smart. That's the only chance you got to get the ball back. But what does he inexplicably does? He fumbles.
Yep.
They go to overtime. Liberty wins, and they end a dream season for Coastal Carolina. Guys, is there any question? You know, we talk about expanded playoffs. After watching that was 2 very good football teams. But after watching that, in y'all opinion, do you think either one of those 2 teams should be included in the top 4? The only way I think that happens, you're seeing it right now when the defense pulls him in the end zone. Look like his own guy pushed him in the end zone. Maybe a top 8. But I think you put to bed that scenario.
Oh, no, that would never happen in the top 4. Never.
If anybody, Cincinnati.
And even they just continued to fall in the rankings each week. So, no. I mean, in 4, never. In 8, yes. But 4, no.
So,
I mean, you're leaving out a Power 5 team every year with 4. You're not going to – a group of 5 teams is never going to make it over a Power 5 team. In 4, with 4.
Is the Pac-10 conference even relevant anymore?
No.
As far as – they're not, man. They're really not right now. I mean, we were talking about USC's quarterback, Graham Harrell, and a comment in the YouTube chat was, go watch their offense. Their rushing offense is terrible.
It's not great.
It's not great. That doesn't mean Graham Harrell can't call outstanding offensive plays. I think he's on the list. I don't know that to be 100%. That's just my thoughts. But only Coach Owen, if maybe a few others, know who that hire is going to be. So coming up in this hour, we'll talk to Matt Zenith of AL.com. No, we're not going to talk all Alabama stuff. We're going to talk all SEC stuff. Senior SEC football writer. Another bowl goes down, Musso. The Music City Bowl. No more singing for the Music City Bowl. Missouri and Iowa. Missouri, 5-5 on the season. Played pretty good football. Beat LSU. Should not have beat LSU, but they did. Eli Drinkowitz, their coach, they have confirmed that they have some COVID problems, and they will not be playing that bowl game, the Music City Bowl.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, because I mean,
That's a bummer.
They were playing. They were playing decent football.
Yeah, they were good, man. I mean, it's. Did anyone really think that Mizzou under Eli Drinkwitz in their first year would win 5? They won 5 games. They went 5-5. Did they not? Ended up getting them in the playoff top 25 at one point, and he went way out over his skis in year one. I would think most people would tell you so. Perhaps future a little brighter in Como for Mizzou, but that's a bummer that they can't play in the bowl game.
The AP came out with their all-SEC team. If you remember, the coaches came out with theirs. We talked about it last week. Not a ton of surprises, the same names. What is kind of a surprise, I'll give you the LSU guys real quick. No first-team guys for LSU. Second-team kicker Cade York was the second-team all-SEC AP. And on defense, Allie Gay, defensive lineman. Allie Gay needs to come back to LSU. Allie, come back to LSU. Turn yourself into a first or second round pick. You're a junior. Doesn't matter if you're a senior. Everybody can come back. Well, it's kind of interesting on these teams. No Stingley, which he missed some games due to injury later in the season. Kyle Trask is your second team all-SEC quarterback to Mac Jones. And people are saying Kyle Trask is going to win the Heisman as a second-team all-SEC quarterback? I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Am I crazy?
Yes, but I also think that Kyle Trask should have been the first-team all-SEC quarterback over Mac Jones. I think his numbers. I think his numbers were better. I think just his overall performance. Probably, it was just better from a number standpoint.
Well, that was your all-SEC team. Wanted to get to, and I'm going to save this, wanted to get to LSU basketball a little bit. They're going to open up SEC play tomorrow. We'll have a preview of that. We'll get either Coach Brady on or Chris Blair tomorrow to give you, it's the SEC play time. They're going to play Texas A&M tomorrow. The Tigers get a tune-up win over Nicholls State in a game that they, according to Coach Will Wade, Musa, I think we have that sound. Couple of comments from Coach Will Wade about LSU's 86-80 victory over Nicholls State.
We scheduled the game to knock some rust off, and glad we scheduled it. We had a lot of stuff that we need to get better at and improve in. Give Nicholls credit. I thought they played extremely hard. For them to get 17 offensive rebounds, tremendous credit to them and how hard they played. They out-rebounded us. They turned us over quite a bit. Thought it was good for us to just get back out there and get going, but there's certainly plenty of room for improvement between now and Tuesday. If we do the same thing Tuesday we did tonight, it'll be tough.
Obviously, Tigers play Texas A&M. I want to give you a reason why I think it's early, as we head into the SEC, why Trendon Wofford could be the SEC Player of the Year. I'll pull these stats off of LSU Basketball's Twitter page via Cody Worsham. So far, Trendon Wofford, the sophomore, 19.4 points per game. That's third in the SEC. His teammate Cam Thomas ranks second at 22.8. 4.8 assists. That's second in the SEC. 65% field goal percentage. That's first in the SEC. He's shooting almost an 80% clip from the free throw line. He goes to the free throw line quite a bit. 2.4 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. He's got a 35.2 player efficiency rating. That's first in the SEC. That's 6th overall in the country. So I think if he can continue playing that type of basketball, he's bringing the ball up the floor. As I said, he's third in the SEC. Scottie Pippen leads the SEC. That is Scottie Pippen Jr., son of the great Scottie Pippen that played for the Bulls. He leads the SEC in scoring at 23.3. But if you look at assists, Trendon Wofford at 4.8. Severe Wheeler of Georgia at 7.4. Georgia's kind of a surprise team at 7-0 on the season. Right there, Trendon Wofford at 4.8 assists. He's tied with Trey Mann of Florida. Field goal percentage, he's at 65% over Keontae Johnson, who is still continues to recover from basically passing out in Florida's game. Florida's not played since. Keontae, it seems like he's home from the hospital. He's got, they figured out a heart defect, myocarditis. So they'll continue to watch him. Javonte Smart shooting at a 63.3% clip. So 2 of the top 3. Obviously, rebounds-wise, he's at about, I think, 7 rebounds. To get in the top 5, he needs to get to 8.4. Emmanuel Miller, who's coming into the PMAC on Tuesday of Texas A&M, leads at 9.4. So, I mean, what Watford's doing for Coach Will Wade's group is amazing. He needs to continue to play like that. I think LSU's got a shot to get into the postseason and play. We'll take a timeout. We'll have our weekend winners next. This is Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Daily brought to you here on Off the Bench by Go Roof, GEAUXroof.com. Get in touch with them today for a free professional estimate on your residential, commercial, or if you need a roofing repair, Go Roof can help you. Remember, get in touch with them, 927-8300 for free professional estimates or online, GEAUXroof.com.
Yeah, so the 2 elements that I really love to highlight, the free professional estimate, so no upfront cost for them to come out like some people do where they charge you just to come look at it, right? Not them. They're going to look at your roof. They're going to give you an estimate, know exactly where you stand, so then you make a fully informed decision. When you then decide to act on it and work with Go Roof, you're going to get a 2-year workmanship guarantee, and that is on top of the manufacturer's warranty, okay? So they're not running concurrently. They're on top of each other, meaning that you're going to make a fully informed decision for free up front, and then you're going to have peace of mind that's going to carry you through to the end. And so what does that result in, Jordy?
A beautiful new roof every single time.
That's right. Roofs.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4Kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast.
Hey, it's Musso wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays from everybody here at After Further Review and 104.5 ESPN. We're off for the next 2 days, but we'll be back Monday, December the 28th. So join us for AFR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Back on Off the Bench, Troy LaBeouf filling in for Jordy and T-Bob. I'll be in tomorrow and Wednesday. The guys will get a little bit more rest and be refreshed and ready to go on Monday. That's when everybody, all the kiddies will go back to school. So they'll get to listen to those guys in the car line. And they deserve some rest and relaxation, and hopefully they're getting that right now. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. All of our sound can be found on demand at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. A lot of stuff going on in the chat right now. The YouTube chat brought to you by Bayou Ford. Talking about Kyle Trask. Oh, does he deserve it? He reminds me of Danny Werfel. I don't know. Emil McClellan, Kyle Trask screams Detroit Lions quarterback to me. I don't want to talk about that game. I had a little dough on that one, and then the quarterback gets hurt. I don't want to talk about that. I agree with Shane Smith and a few others. I think Devonta Smith should be the Amite native. He should be the Heisman winner. We'll see. But without further ado, let's talk about weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole thing.
Love those quotes. Musso, is that you on there?
No.
It sounds like you. One of those bites sounds just like you.
Not me.
And obviously the last one was that Major League?
Major League.
Oh my
Jake
gosh.
Taylor.
I love that.
Great film.
My first weekend winner, I'm a hoops guy. If you don't know that, I was a high school basketball coach. I love hoops. I love all sports, but I really love hoops. Brandon Ingram, through 3 games, 80 points, 26.7 points per game, 7.3 boards, 6.7 dimes. That's assists. I think he's playing and looking like a franchise player, and he got paid for it. I'm glad they paid him. Watch out for the Pels. My first weekend winner is Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans.
Let's see. First weekend winner for me is A.J. Dillon from the Green Bay Packers. Running back pressed into action last night without Aaron Jones and showed out, man. 140-some-odd yards off 21 carries, 2 touchdowns. Couple Lambeau leaps. One of them went poorly. The second one was much better, much more well done for A.J. Dillon. But, kid out of Boston College, rookie running back. Just a solid showing when pressed into action last night in the snow. So, shout out to A.J. Dillon.
My weekend winner goes out to Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was subbed in for Tua, and if you're watching live on stream, he made a clutch play with 14 seconds left in the game. The defensive lineman nearly ripped off his helmet.
So no look.
And he still made no look pass, and the receiver still caught
Look at him.
Like, completely ripped his head off. Like,
Fitz magic. Did they call a penalty there?
Yeah, it was 15 yards tacked onto the catch.
Why did he not break his neck? I mean, Fitz magic. Sitting over there, probably got a dip in his mouth on the sidelines. All of a sudden,
Most
hey,
likely.
Get in the game, buddy. Get in the game. I like that one. My second weekend winner. How about the Hogs, the Saints offensive lineman? 264 rush yards, 583 total yards, They play without Andres Pete. I know people say Andres Pete is not good. He's going to Pro Bowl, people. They play without Nick Easton. Tackle James Hurst stepped in and played guard. Will Clapp was used as a sixth lineman. LSU's Will Clapp. Will Clapp that sat in this room, I think. It was an intern. I think I'm right on that. He served in a bunch of different packages. This group did not allow a sack. My second weekend winner, Saints O-line.
Second weekend winner, we touched on it a little bit in the last segment, but shouts out to Cam Thomas and Trendon Watford, both of them with great games and LSU's return to action this past weekend. Cam Thomas for sure is a lottery pick, and Trendon Watford looks to be playing his way into being a lottery pick. His game has just evolved far past just scoring. He's rebounding the ball better this year and definitely using his teammates better. His assist numbers, I know you touched on it, Troy, in the last segment, are among the best in the conference. So Trendon Watford with 22, 9, and 6, I believe, against Nichols, and Cam Thomas, freshman sensation, career high 29 points in that game. So
like it.
Hat tip to both of those gentlemen.
Like it. Danny?
I'm going with I don't know if this is on y'all's list, but Alvin Kamara, weekend winner. I mean, even after getting paid, he's still balling out. You love to see that from a guy who gets a big payday.
Oh, the shoes. The shoes.
Yeah, the Christmas shoes are sick. Green and red.
Is he going to get fined for that?
Probably.
I think he did, yeah.
Okay. Worth it.
Said he's going to match it. He said if the Grinch comes around, he's going to match that fine for a charity. So go Alvin Kamara. I agree with that, Dan. He played fantastic. My next weekend winner, how about J.J. Watt of the Texans? If you haven't watched, go to ESPN.com and watch his rant on the Houston Texans' lack of professionalism. And he feels bad for? The fans. He said, we're making way too much money to come out and put a product like that, to not show up on time. So obviously, maybe not showing up time to meetings and weight workouts and practices. Obviously, he's taking some shots at some of his players. My next weekend winner is J.J. Watt of the Texans. Bring him to New Orleans. We'll appreciate him, I promise you.
Playing off of what Danny just went with Alvin Kamara, I'd like to give a weekend winner shout out to anyone who had Alvin Kamara on their fantasy team.
Oh, goodness.
Because you definitely won. There's just no doubt when your running back scores 6 touchdowns, your fantasy team's going to do very well. I have a buddy in the league he was in, the 2 guys facing off in the championship. One of them had Alvin Kamara and Tom Brady on their fantasy team, and they ran away with it. But if you have Alvin Kamara on your fantasy team, you definitely won this weekend. Good job.
My other weekend winner goes out to Titans offensive lineman Ben Jones. Apparently every week he goes out onto the field and says a prayer to honor his brother. And this week he was in Green Bay where it was freezing and there was snow, and he walked out barefoot on the field. So props out to Ben Jones. That dude's a real man.
Total football guy.
Total football guy, 100%. And honored his brother. So.
You guys have any other ones?
That's it for me.
I have one. I have
Go
one more.
for it.
The Jets.
Oh.
Why did you have to be a weekend winner? You should have lost.
Yeah.
But you didn't. I give credit to the Jets. Obviously, they're playing for a lame duck coach and Adam Gase. What do? They beat Cleveland 23-16. Baker Mayfield, a quarterback in Cleveland. In their defense, guys, he was missing his 4 starting wide receivers, including OBJ and Landry. 2 of his linemen, a couple of players on defense because of COVID tracing, and all they do is they go out. Cleveland, they lose to the Jets, and albeit they lose with a depleted squad, but give credit to the Jets. They're playing hard. They're still playing. Jets. That's correct, Brian Burgess. You're going to get the 2nd pick in the draft, and I wouldn't pass up on Devonta Smith or Jamar Chase. People could argue that. There's big lineman Sewell out of USC. You can add to that offensive line. There's some quarterbacks as well. I think Sam Darnold may be okay if you can get some pieces around him. That was my last weekend winner.
Got to fire Adam Gase now.
Oh, he's done.
But there's no reason to even wait. I mean, you've now gagged away the 1st overall pick. That's the only reason you were keeping him. The guy won 2 games. I mean, it's just time to fire him now.
Well, like 1 week from today, y'all will be talking about it. It'll be Black Monday.
I know.
The pink slips will be handed out Black Monday. And I want to throw this out there. I read a little stuff over the weekend. Urban Meyer as a potential candidate for a head coaching job in the NFL? I don't know about that.
I don't know if that would work.
So we'll talk to Matt Zenit of AL.com. We'll not talk all Alabama. It's an Alabama site, but we're going to talk all SEC with Matt Zenit. After this timeout, this is OTB.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Daily here, we're brought to you by All-Star Toyota. Remember, All-Star Toyota is online at allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. You can find the great inventory over there as All-Star Toyota brings you a great selection of SUVs, sedans, trucks. If you want to get into a hybrid model this morning, you can. If you want to lease a model like T-Bob is, very easy to do. Go see Aaron Piku and his sales team over at All-Star Toyota on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, remember, just a few days left here in November's Toyotathon. 2020 Camry, 0% APR financing for 72 months. They got you. A 2021 Toyota Venza gets 40 miles to the gallon, just $750 customer cash back. They got you. 2020 Highlander for 0% APR financing for 60 months. RAV4. You want a Tacoma with $1,000 customer cash? How about a 2021 Tundra? 0% APR financing again for 60 months. So what are you waiting for? Toyotathon is on. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Off the bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Join us for a Monday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Ivar Sports Bar. We give our take on Week 16 in the NFL. Saints clinch their 4th straight division title, and we look ahead to the rest of the week. Game Time, 6 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Back on Off the Bench, presented by All Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. All of our sound on demand and our interviews can be brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. You can check out 1045ESPN.com. Also check out the ESPN YouTube channel. YouTube chat is on fire this morning, brought to you by Bayou 4. A lot of talk going on in the YouTube chat, a lot of SEC talk, but I'm happy to bring on Matt Zenitz of AL.com, a senior SEC football writer. Matt, how are you? Belated Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coming up to you.
Same to you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming on, Matt. Matt is a senior SEC football reporter. And, Matt, I had to tell the folks that are listening to us, you're not going to come in here and talk. We're not going to talk all Alabama. We're going to talk some Alabama because you know how it is around here, LSU country. We're going to talk a lot. I'm going to throw a lot of things at you. Matt covers just about everything in the SEC, basketball, football, you name it. Does a fantastic job. I love to follow his stuff. You can follow him on Twitter at MZENITZ. And let's go out. Let's jump on the first one. Let's talk about some of the hires. Auburn hires Brian Harsin from Boise State to take over that program. Talk about that hire for Auburn.
Well, they bring in a guy who obviously doesn't have ties to the SEC, but has had a lot of success out at Boise State, has won a lot of games out there, and put them in a position where they were able to end what was kind of a crazy, messy coaching search process with a guy who's respected in the coaching world and that has administration there optimistic about the long-term direction of their program.
How about Shane Beamer at South Carolina?
Yeah, so obviously has ties to the school, and is a guy who had a lot of support, not only from players who were there when he was, but also some influential people behind the scenes that helped put him in a position where he could get that job. And now, obviously, they're finishing up at Oklahoma and in the process of putting together his staff, and is almost done with that at this point.
And finishing out the hires, Vanderbilt's Clark Lee, former player at Vanderbilt.
Exactly, a natural connection there. Somebody who obviously had ties to the school, has become a respected figure in the coaching world based on his work at Notre Dame, one of the top young up-and-coming guys defensively in the country, and somebody who, once again, was just a natural fit for Vanderbilt, especially factoring in his ties to the school.
Visiting with Matt Zenitz of AL.com, a senior SEC football writer. Follow him on Twitter at Matt, ZENITZ. Matt, let's jump to the Heisman talk. Alabama's got 3 of the top 5. What do you think about the candidates, and who do you think wins the Heisman? I have my thoughts.
Yeah. I think it's as wide open of a race as I can remember, where you can make a legitimate case for probably at least 3 of the 4 finalists at this point. It's probably tougher for Kyle Trask coming off of losses in these games against obviously LSU and Alabama. Had a great year, but I would be very surprised if he ended up winning the Heisman at this point. But at the same time, you can make a legitimate case for Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, the 2 Alabama guys in terms of Mac Jones and Devontae Smith. And I think this is a year where could potentially see somebody other than a quarterback or running back win the Heisman, since Devontae Smith has had the kind of year that he has, and I would think has a legitimate case to win this thing going into the ceremony. And I can tell you, one of the things I worked on recently was a preview of the SEC title game going into that game, where obviously going into that matchup between Alabama and Florida had 3 or 4 guys, if you want to factor in Najee Harris from Alabama also, 4 guys who were legitimate Heisman candidates at that point. But with that story, not only sought feedback from coaches around the SEC in terms of their thoughts on the game, but also was curious to get their thoughts on the Heisman race and who, if they had a vote at that point, that they would put in their vote for. And of the 18 coaches that gave their feedback for that, 15 of the 18 voted for Devontae Smith at that point heading into the game, which I thought was pretty interesting.
I'm with you. I think Devonta Smith, he's from our neck of the woods, from Amite High School. Alabama came down here and stole him, and he would certainly be a star at LSU just like he is at Alabama. I kind of feel like with Devontae and Mac being on the four finalists, there could be some votes split there. You could see Trask or Trevor Lawrence, as we talked about, sneak in and win the Heisman. But I think if you're picking the best player in college football, I think Devonta Smith certainly fits the bill. Let's go to the LSU offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator search. I'm not going to get you to speculate on candidates and all that stuff, but your thoughts on LSU coming off of a national championship season and then going to 5-5 this year.
Yeah, so first of all, I ended the year with some positive momentum. Obviously, had wins in those last two games. So some of the young guys who are going to be depended on to help turn things around moving forward. Ended the year on a very positive note, specifically the quarterback and Max Johnson, Keyshawn Boutte at receiver. So have to be encouraged based on what you saw from not only the team as a whole, but specifically some of those young guys who are such important pieces to build around moving forward, how they played in the last couple games. So obviously, since the last regular season game, since the last game of the season for LSU, been some turnover from a staff standpoint, and it'll be important, obviously, for Coach O to surround himself with some good people that help to put the team in a position where they can get back to the kind of season, get back to having the kind of season that I know they expect to have.
Georgia and Cincinnati are going to be playing the Peach Bowl, but they got some news the day before Christmas that their all-SEC cornerback Eric Stokes has officially decided to enter the NFL draft and not play in that game. Florida safety Sean Davis, you reported as well, won't play in the team's Cotton Bowl game versus Oklahoma. I see those two matchups as two great matchups for the SEC, but certainly with the guys starting to opt out a little bit, I mean, is that obviously it shouldn't surprise us, but that takes a little lackluster off the game.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be more of that coming now, and it's just kind of the times that we're in, especially if you want to factor in 2020 and everything that comes along with that to go along with it. So I don't think those are going to be the only guys. Obviously, with Georgia, there are a few other players to go along with just Eric Stokes, but I think this has become, I don't want to say the new normal, but it's becoming more standard for some of these top prospects to opt out of bowl games that aren't playoff games.
Speaking of bowl games, I'm visiting with Matt Zenith of senior SEC football reporter for AL.com. Missouri and Iowa, they will not play in the Music City Bowl. Looks like Missouri had some COVID issues, Matt.
Yeah, that was the expectation throughout the course of the day yesterday. So Missouri had a spike in cases, put them in a position where throughout the course of the day yesterday, it was trending in a bad direction in terms of that game. It seems like caught Iowa off guard. We was talking to somebody on staff there yesterday, and they were completely unaware of the issues, first of all, and of the possibility that the game couldn't be played or may not be played until that started to get reported on in terms of Missouri's COVID issues. So I know there was a little bit of surprise and disappointment naturally on their end, but I obviously we've seen that a decent amount now in terms of issues with some of these bowl games related to COVID issues, and unfortunately it may not be the last one in terms of having to cancel a bowl game because of these COVID issues.
Get you out on this one, Matt. College football playoffs. Obviously, everybody knows who those four teams are: Clemson versus Ohio State, Bama versus Notre Dame. Two questions. Give us a quick preview of what do you think of those two games, and lastly, do you think Texas A&M should have been in the college football playoffs?
Yeah, I think Texas A&M had a legitimate case. It's tough to get through an SEC schedule with only one loss, but at the same time, Notre Dame had a legitimate case also. And I think Texas A&M has a right to be frustrated, as I know they are, that they didn't get an opportunity to get into the playoff and compete for a national championship. But it's not like it was a surprise. It would have been more of a surprise if Texas A&M got in over Notre Dame than if it had been the other way around. That said, I think there are a clear top three in terms of teams in the country from a talent standpoint. And those top three are Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State. And regardless whether it was Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Cincinnati, or whoever else at number 4, I think those teams would have had a tough time competing against the aforementioned 3. And I do think it's going to be extremely tough for Notre Dame to be competitive against Alabama, just based on what I know about Notre Dame and some of the information that I've gotten from coaches whose teams have played them throughout the course of this season. So the spread is somewhere in the range of 3 touchdowns heading into that game. And I can see why that's the case, just the more that have started to familiarize myself with Notre Dame during the course of the last week or so.
I tell you, I wasn't going to make you speculate on anything, but I will make you speculate on this. Last year's LSU team versus this year's Alabama team. Who wins?
That'd be a hell of a game.
That would be, man. How fun would that be?
It'll be interesting to see what happens next year. So regardless of how this season went from an LSU perspective, there are a lot of talented young guys on this team. And I can tell you the feeling around the SEC is that LSU is going to be in position to be able to bounce back and have a much better year next year than what they had this season. Especially, I mean, just factoring in, it takes talent to win games. And there's a lot of talent inside that building. And obviously that coaching staff led by Coach O helped to put them in a position to win a national championship as recently as last year. So for me, more looking ahead to next year, and it'll be interesting to see how some of these young guys like the Max Johnsons of the world, Keishawn Butte, some of the other young guys that go along with that, carry over this end of the season for them into next year.
Matt Zenit, we appreciate your time. He is a walking SEC knowledge, full of knowledge. We appreciate it. I threw a lot of different things. I did not give him these questions before. Did not stump him. Did not try to stump him, but he does a fantastic job for AL.com. Wish you and yours a happy new year, belated Merry Christmas, and keep up the good work on AL.com.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you for having me on.
Matt Zenit. Follow him on Twitter at MZENITZ. All right, guys, coming up to the segment that I've been looking forward to. What was in the stocking at Christmas time? So put it in the huddle. I'm sorry I said it. The YouTube chat, the huddle is dead. The YouTube chat brought to you by Bayou Ford. What was your favorite gift you got at Christmas? I'm going to ask the guys to tell us that. I'll say mine as well. So we'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2. This is Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Central Plumbing Company. Remember online, centralplumbing.org. Get in touch with them this morning, 925-8552. Today's the last day. If you're hosting tomorrow, get them out today. Make sure the plumbing is working. 925-8552 is the phone number for Central Plumbing Company. Online, centralplumbing.org.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. Go there today for all of your plumbing needs. I had them come out the other day because baby wipes got flushed down the toilet. I got the snake out, couldn't get it out. It wasn't long enough. Central Plumbing comes out, literally took like 5 minutes. My problems are solved. My toilet's flushing. I don't have to lift a finger. Licensed, bonded, insured there when they said they would be. It's an ideal customer experience. And look, flat rate pricing structure means no surprises that are going to shock you out of nowhere or anything like that. So if you need any plumbing help at all, residential, or if you're in a business or an office building, they got your back. Call 925-8552 or go to centralplumbing.org today.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4 Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4 Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Gade Voisin. From our entire team at Hanging with Hester and Henny, Charles Hannegriff, Jacob Hester, Paul O'Neill, Josh Ward, and myself, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Join us on Monday from noon to 3, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Final segment of Off the Bench. We'll have Off the Bench OT coming right after the top of the hour. Troy LaBeouf sitting in for Jordy and T-Bob. And we asked for your best Christmas gift that you received. I'll go first, and we're starting to get some good ones in the YouTube chat brought to you by Bayou Ford. Best Christmas gift I received, I did get some material things, but being able to watch my kids open their gifts, and the one thing I saw was the glitter in their eye and the thankfulness they had when they opened those gifts, whoever gave them gifts or if Santa Claus brought it to them or what have you. Everything they received, they were thankful for, and that was my best gift. Moose?
Always better to give than to receive, right? I got some Apple AirPods. Big fan of them. A couple days in with them, and I just enjoy it.
Don't lose them.
I'm not gonna lose them. Not gonna lose them. Guy who normally sits in that chair, I know he's lost a couple pairs of them, but
I think I'll set him up on that.
Yeah, but I don't plan on losing them. They stay in the same spot if I'm not using them. So
did you get the new generation ones?
No, I didn't get it. And you know, Danny, I don't like the way those new ones fit in your ear. They're just weird. I like the old. I don't think the new ones really do anything much different, right?
No, I feel the same way. I like the old ones better.
Yeah, I like the way they fit in the ear a lot better. So,
Danny,
I got a framed LSU original newspaper, framed up in like the big canvas of when they won the national title.
Nice.
It's a good one.
What was the headline? I can't remember.
Something Cats. It was from the Baton Rouge Advocate.
Was it like
Top Cats?
Top Cats?
I think
was
it's
it
Top
Cats? I think it was Top Cats.
Got a couple of good ones in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Stanley Polkey got me a new Blackstone flat top griddle. Done broke that bad boy out and used it.
Dude, those things are really good. My brother-in-law has one. They are quality.
I did some grilling on the flat top over the week. We did steaks rather than traditional foods, and it was fantastic. Not my cooking, but just the steaks in general. Scott Deese. Boy, this is a good one, Moose. You want to read that one by Scott Deese?
Scott says his favorite gift this Christmas was from his parents. They put together a shadow box with all his grandfather's Army medals. Said he never talked about what he did, but he was obviously a badass and very accomplished. That's a really cool gift. That's just a really, really cool gift.
I salute your grandfather, Scott, for what he did, and then everybody else in the in the services. But boy, that's that one tugs at you a little bit, and I'm sure it was a special moment for you, Scott. So thanks for sharing that. I've got about 30 seconds. If anybody else wanted to share what they got for Christmas or what they're thankful for, because obviously when we come to Wednesday, guys, do your homework. What are you thankful for in 2020? And boy, it's been a world of craziness in 2020. More so, what do you look forward to in 2021? Mr. W got me autographed Joe Burrow Sports Illustrated framed.
That's a good one.
Like that one. Champ EYON. Wife bought me a 6.5 Creedmoor, but can you believe she didn't buy me a scope? Oh, okay, that's a gun. I had no clue. She should have kept it. Come on, champ. The thought that counts, man. But I appreciate everybody sharing those. And that'll do it for Off the Bench. But we do have Off the Bench OT. All of our interviews, you can go check them out on demand. Brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge, ESPN.com. Carriages got a lot of those sales going on. Go check them out, Carriages of Baton Rouge. When we come back on the top of the hour, Off the Bench OT, we'll talk to Jeff Palermo. He's up in Shreveport. I should say in Natchitoches at Turpin Stadium, where he's calling the state championship
Off the Bench
games.
with Collada and T-Bob.
Ochsner Sports Medicine, remember, with 3 locations in our listening area on North Shore, in the North Shore, in Covington, in New Orleans on Clearview Parkway, in Baton Rouge, over here at the Grove. You can get all of the professional attention that you may be looking for if you're a weekend warrior, if you're an elite athlete, a high school athlete, a young athlete, an ancient athlete, anybody who is active that wants to stay active, but you're just nicked up right now and can't get back on the streets or get back on your feet. Ochsner Sports Medicine can help. Online, ochsner.org.
Ochsner.org, yeah. So if you are injured, there's nowhere better to go. Surgery, they have the best surgical process, pre-op, during the op, post-op. But even the non-surgical options they can explore with the latest techniques. Kind of the minds are at the forefront of these injury recoveries. But what about just getting bigger, stronger, and faster, right? You're a high school athlete, junior high, and ancient athlete. Maximize your athletic potential with Ochsner Performance Training. Trained in the same ways the pros do, Ochsner.org.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
Get an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Hello?
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up?
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
1045 WNXX Jackson, 1049 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Monday, December 28th. Today in Baton Rouge, you expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 73. Coming up on OTBOT, Jeff Palermo from the Louisiana Radio Network stops by next. And Northwest Florida head basketball coach Butch Pierre will be here at 9:30. Follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel and interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. Make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set those notifications. New content is posted there daily. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome into OTBOT. Troy LaBeouf sitting in for Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. Actually sitting in for T-Bob Hebert as he's the lone host on OTBOT. Great first 2 hours on Off the Bench. You can go back and check all of our interviews on demand. ESPN 104.5 ESPN.com. YouTube channel. YouTube chat brought to you by Bayou Ford. All of our sound and our interviews brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. But we move into OT now, and we move into our first guest, Jeff Palermo of the Louisiana Radio Network, CST High School football play-by-play. 2 games starting in Natchitoches that happened yesterday. Manny versus Kinder and Catholic High versus C.E. Bird. And here to recap it and talk about what's on tap for tonight is my friend Jeff Palermo of the Louisiana Radio Network. Jeff, how are you?
Doing well, Troy. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to all of the Off the Bench listeners. Glad to be on with you this morning.
I'm glad to have you. Merry Christmas to you and upcoming Happy New Year. Probably may get a chance to talk to you again. We might get you to recap Madison Prep later in the week as the other Baton Rouge area school. But before we get to Catholic and C.E. Bird, a very good game, a 2A championship game, first title since 2014 for Manny. They win 16-13. Give us a quick recap of that one.
Well, I thought this was a game where Manning had the better talent. Cadillac Roan, their quarterback, is a terrific player. Terrence Williams, a running back for them. They got a kid in Tackett Curtis, who's just a fantastic safety, a sophomore. They had the better, I guess, superstar players, if you would. But, man, did Kinder's defense play really good in that game and kept Kinder in that contest. And it turned out to be a defensive slugfest, 16-13, a final score. I mean, in today's day of college and high school football, you just don't see scores like that, low-scoring games in the teens like that. But we had one of those yesterday, and I think it was appropriate that a pick six for Manny was really the difference in the ballgame. Returned interception for a touchdown, and Manny comes away with the victory. But it was their time. Last year they lost to Faraday pretty bad in the 2A championship game. Returned a lot of those kids back from that season. where Kinder's probably maybe a year away. They got some good juniors and sophomores on their squad, and Manny's got a lot of good sophomores. So it was the third time those two schools have met in the state championship game since 2013, and they may face each other one or two more times here in the next few years based on all the talent that those two squads have.
Visiting with Jeff Perlamo at Jeff Perlamo LRN, Louisiana Radio Network on Twitter. He's also covering the state championship. Jeff, we had a question about being able to watch the games on CST. Would you kind of explain that situation?
Well, we would love to show them live. It was a decision by the Louisiana High School Athletic Association to do tape delay broadcast. Now, you can watch them live. You'll have to go through the NFHS network and stream the games, and I think it's a monthly subscription of $10. So you'll be able to watch all the games and then all the other stuff that the NFHS network has on that channel, or on that website. But you'll be able to start watching the tape delayed broadcast starting on Thursday, New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day. They'll show a bunch of them, and throughout the entire New Year's weekend, all the games will air for the first time. And as many of you know, if you watch Cox Sports Television, they'll replay the games a dozen more times between now and probably March when we finally get to the state basketball championship. So that's the way we're doing them this year. Again, I wish they were live on CST too, but that's just the way it is this season, and hopefully we'll get them back live as far as the football championships go next year.
Troy LaBeouf visiting with Jeff Perlamo of Louisiana Radio Network covering the state championship games. Jeff, let's move to the one that people had their eyes and ears on. Obviously, you could have listened to the game yesterday on 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge. Dixon McMakin and Kevin Franklin brought the action, but obviously you just explained the CST deal and NFHS Network. Catholic wins their third title in 6 years. They beat CE Bird 35-12, and it just didn't seem like CE Bird could really get anything going. I felt like in listening and watching some different Twitter followers and stuff like that, that Catholic was kind of in control of that ball game.
Yeah, and it helped for Catholic High to prepare for the triple option offense. They had basically 15, 16 days to get ready for this thing. I mean, Bird is best when you only have a week to prepare, and it's difficult. And Catholic High has just so many good players on defense: Mikey Alvarado, Michael Trinauskas, Christian Menino. Those guys just played a terrific football game last night. Those are solid, great high school football players, and they were well schooled for what Bird was bringing to the table. And this is what you see a lot of times too, with option teams or really dominant run teams. You get them behind by a couple touchdowns, and they just really struggle. Now, Bird was able to mount a nice drive right before halftime, and they got the ball to begin the second half, and that was really Bird's opportunity to kind of regain the momentum of the football game, but they failed to do that in the third quarter, and then Catholic High just eventually ran away with it. And I know a lot of focus is always on a team's offense, what they're doing there, but I really think it was a game where Catholic High, they won it out with their defense. Catholic High had an early turnover. Daniel Beal on the first possession for Catholic High throws an interception, trying to throw a deep ball. Bird has outstanding field position at their own 50-yard line to begin the game, and they can't convert a first down, and they turn it over on down. And that was, I think, a telling moment in the football game, because that was Bird's opportunity, was to get the lead and then try to control the tempo of the game, really try to slow the game down. I mean, Bird, the way they want to play defense against you is have ball control offense and limit the opposing offense's possessions. They just were never able to do that yesterday, and they found themselves in a hole, and they couldn't catch up. But Catholic High's got something special going on right now to have 4 consecutive trips to the state championship game and to win 2 of them. Very impressive, and could have easily won last year when they lost to Rummel 14-10.
Jeff, I wanted to you mentioned a couple of guys' names. Obviously, got so many outstanding players for Catholic, but Trey Benson was the most
Yes.
outstanding player. 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, caught 4 passes for 140. But what I wanted to ask you, Landon O'Connor who has been injured a good bit of the season. He was involved in this game. He had 2 touchdowns, but obviously Daniel Beal, the outstanding freshman quarterback, went 11 of 17 for 220. How did they use Landon O'Connor in the game?
Well, they started Landon O'Connor, and we really didn't know exactly what they would do at the starting quarterback position. When we spoke to Gabe Fertitta last week, he said it was a question mark on whether O'Connor could play. O'Connor got hurt in the Acadiana game, which was week 7, so second to the last game of the regular season. And then he got hurt in the semifinal game against Brother Martin. And so there was really a big question. But Coach Fertitta started him, and this is what makes Catholic High so tough to defend, is because you have O'Connor, who's a really good running quarterback who's got outstanding speed. When he gets out to the outside or to the perimeter in the open field, he's very tough to tackle or to catch. And then you got George Hart, who is their leading rusher, who's very good playing the wildcat position. And then what has elevated Catholic High to becoming a very difficult team to beat this season is Daniel Beal, who joined the team late in the season after playing his freshman season. And his ability to throw the ball and push the ball downfield just made Catholic really almost impossible to defend. So Beal, he threw a couple of interceptions, but his interceptions were on deep passes. He also threw 2 touchdown passes. You mentioned Trey Benson had a big 78-yard touchdown pass early in the second quarter that allowed Catholic to get up by 2 touchdowns. And again, you have a team, a triple option offense like Bird, that's just hard for them to recover from a 2-touchdown deficit. So, and Benson has just got, he's got big play potential. He's like the 5th or 6th option on that offense, behind Hart and some of these other guys. But they put him in the slot, and he is so tough to defend. There's not a defensive back, I think, in high school football, when you line him up in the slot, that can really guard him. Maybe if you put a guy like Sage Ryan on him or something like that from Lafayette Christian, maybe he can defend him in the slot. But he's just he's a matchup nightmare for any opposing defense, and he'll only get the ball half a dozen times, but he's going to score. In the game against Rummel in the quarterfinals, he only touched the ball 3 times, but 2 of them were for touchdowns. That's the kind of when they need a big play, they go to Benson, and he usually delivers.
Get you out of here on this one, Jeff Palermo of the Louisiana Radio Network calling the games for CST. Jeff, today's slate of games will start at 11 a.m. We appreciate you coming on this morning as you're preparing for number 1 Oak Grove 10-0 versus Grand Lake. And go ahead and talk about the other 2 games today on tap.
Well, first of all, I got to say something about Grand Lake, because the Hollywood script writers should be at the game.
Absolutely.
Today because this is a remarkable story that a school from Cameron Parish, where 2 destructive hurricanes made landfall earlier this year, has somehow figured out a way to get to the state championship game. It's an unbelievable story, and they are an underdog going up against Oak Grove, who's trying to win back-to-back state championships for the first time in their program's history. They're loaded. It's the 3rd straight year in a row Oak Grove's been in the 1A title game, and they got some really good players. Dalton Allen was a Southern Miss commit, and then they have a bunch of 4-year starters on their team. So it'll be a tough game for Grand Lake today, but, man, you can't count them out. And then the next 2 games for today, you got St. Charles Catholic taking on Lafayette Christian. That's a rematch of last year's state championship game in Division III, won by LCA. LCA, we got to find out about Sage Ryan today. He's questionable after getting hurt in the game against Episcopal in the quarterfinals. And St. Charles Catholic's got some good players as well. Zach McNair, their junior quarterback, Keenan Goff, a talented running back. And the Comets are always going to play great defense and special teams. And then the final game, you have St. Thomas More taking on De La Salle. This is also a rematch of last year. STM won the Division II state title. They're trying to go back-to-back for the first time in program history. And, of course, it's all about Walker Howard and Jack Besh and what these 2 guys could do. You can ask Catholic High. You cannot defend Jack Besh, and that's going to be De La Salle's problem today. I think De La Salle's better than they were a year ago. De La Salle has two terrific running backs in Montrell Johnson and Byron Phillips, but I don't know how you stop the combination of Walker Howard and Jack Besh. You just can't do it. So you kind of wish if things were different, Troy, you would love to see St. Thomas 4 play Carr, because that's really the real 4A championship game. But
that's fun. That's for another show. We have to. Do, you and I both have been covering this a long time. And
it's not the world we live in. So De La Salle will have their hands full once again today, trying to go up against the Cougars.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. I know you're getting ready. And last one, in maybe 15, 20 seconds. How is Northwestern treating you guys? Obviously the kids normally get to play in the Superdome, but all indications I'm hearing it's been a red carpet rolled out.
Oh, certainly, and we knew that going in. Some of the most friendliest people that I've ever come across is here in Natchitoches in Northwestern State. It's a small town, though, so after the games, if you're trying to get some food or something,
good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. That's all I can say. They are not used to having the. And I tell you right now, with 3 games being played today, this town's going to be overrun by a lot of people coming into it. So just be patient on that when it comes to that kind of stuff. If you're planning, for Madison Prep fans, planning on making the trip up here, I guess that would be tomorrow.
Yep. Jeff, we'd probably like to get you on Wednesday to preview Madison Prep and Union Parish, which sets up to be an unbelievable matchup in Class 3, and you can recap some of the games you saw with some of those LSU commitments, verbal commitments, and real commitments, and Sage Ryan and so forth. Jeff, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Have a good call today.
All right, you too, Troy. Thanks. I appreciate it, man.
All right, that's Jeff Palermo, Louisiana Radio Network. Guys, he probably did that with no notes in front of him. I've worked with Jeff. He knows his stuff, man. He's a walking encyclopedia. Jeff's involved with a lot of things, Louisiana Radio Network, the LSU Sports Radio Network. He's a colleague, but he's a friend as well. We appreciate him coming on. He's getting ready for his game at 11 o'clock. We'll take a timeout. When we come back on Off the Bench OT, we want to see what Liam Shanahan is deciding to do with LSU. Is he coming back? He may have tipped off over the weekend that he may or may not be coming back. We'll look at that when we come back. This is Off the Bench.
OTB, OT. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
In an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
You may not know about the 4 Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Musso wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays from everybody here at After Further Review and 104.5 ESPN. We're off for the next 2 days, but we'll be back Monday, December the 28th. So join us for AFR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Back on OTB, OT, Troy LaBeouf sitting in for T-Bob Hebert. I got to tell T-Bob, I watched the first episode of Mandalorian, and I don't know, it was just so slow for me, Moose. I just, have you watched it?
Nope.
I just couldn't get into it. And T-Bob would probably be upset with me saying that right now. So, but I just couldn't get into it. Danny, have you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched it. I agree.
Should I stay the course, or should I just punt?
No, it gets better for sure. It does start a little slow. I mean, the characters got to build.
I just saw Baby Yoda. That's the last thing I saw.
So you didn't finish the show? You just cut it off?
Yeah, I just watched maybe one episode. Maybe I have not finished the full first season.
Okay. Yeah.
I was 30 minutes. I didn't give my full attention. You know, during the times when we were at stay at home early with COVID, I jumped on the All American on Netflix, and I just could not take my eyes off of it. It's coming back January 18th. I can't wait. Season 3. I don't know if you guys watched the All American, but if you haven't, go watch seasons 1 and 2. Thank me later. So, speaking of thanking him, I think LSU fans will be thanking Liam Shanahan, because it looks like Liam Shanahan is going to be returning to the LSU football team. Did LSU make an announcement on that? No. But Liam Shanahan did a reference on Twitter on December 24th, and it was a reference to, and we can't show it, great movie. I haven't seen it. I want to see it. December 24th, he put "Show Goes On," and the reference is The Wolf of Wall Street. A little clip below it. Looks like one of the best clips of the movies, I would assume. I haven't watched it yet. By Leonardo DiCaprio talking to a bunch of folks, obviously with the stock market and all that stuff. And the Twitter post, "Show Goes On." So, Moose, I'm assuming that Liam Shanahan is returning.
That's what it looks like, and that's a huge get for LSU.
I agree with that.
Get your center back, let him get one more year in the system. Just stability up front, which is something that LSU needs, because they weren't very good up front on the offensive line this year. And it's not that the guys they had up there weren't talented. It just, for whatever reason, didn't really click for him in that year. And I think going into the season, most people would have told you they liked LSU's first five on the offensive line a lot. And I know I certainly liked their first five a lot. It just didn't click. So getting those guys back, get them another year together, help their own draft stocks out, I think that's a huge get for LSU. And like I said, stability up front is key.
Ed Ingram, Austin Deculus, Cam Wire, Jason Hines, Dare Rosenthal. I like that offensive line. Whatever the mixture is, if those guys can return, if I can pick one out of those five, and that's taking Shanahan out of the equation because it looks like he's coming back. My pick out of those five, because everybody in that group is eligible to leave except, well, Cam Wire and Dare Rosenthal cannot leave. Is that correct? Am I right on that?
No, I believe that they can. I believe they're all eligible. I believe Dare's a junior.
So if you ask me, out of that group, who I want back the most, this may surprise some people, but I want Dare Rosenthal. I think he can be an NFL tackle.
He's an important one to get back, and it's not even just so much as an important for LSU as it is for Dare. He's got to show the league now that he can be on the field for a full season. Because when Dare Rosenthal has been out there, it's been pretty good. He's been pretty solid over there at left tackle for LSU. It's just he's been off the field for different reasons, or whether it be coach's decision or some nagging injuries. 51's got to show the scouts that I can stay on the field for a full college season, because if he can't do that, I mean, they're not going to trust him to stay on the field for a full NFL season either. So as important as it would be for LSU to get Dare Rosenthal back, it might be even more important for Dare to come back just for his own draft stock.
Cardell Thomas, 6'3", 325 out of Southern Lab. Redshirt freshman, has not played much at all. Charles Turner has played sparingly. I really like Xavier Hill and Marcus Dumerville. Don't know much about Anthony Bradford. He's a redshirt freshman. LSU's got some guys there.
Anthony Bradford's a guy that Coach O regularly called the best offensive lineman on the team leading up to camp.
6'5", 365. He's a prototypical, size-wise, as a tackle. Maybe a little heavy, according to this. I'm not sure. I know T-Bob did say when those guys got in against Vanderbilt, they looked a little heavy. But he looks like a monster. I mean, they got him all the way from Michigan.
LSU's success next year will hinge on the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean,
they have the talent in every other position. They have to be able to block up front, because when they blocked up front this year, they had a lot of success. When they didn't, that's when they just got run off the field.
I think the defensive line's going to be nasty.
Yeah, the defensive line looks great. I mean, wait and
Mason
see.
Smith coming in.
Neil Farrell Jr. had some tweets over the last couple of days about, one more year, what y'all think. So it seems like he's still trying to make his decision. That's a veteran guy that if you could get back would help out tremendously. And Jaquelin Roy really came on strong at the end of the season. You just mentioned Mason Smith, who looks, he looks like he is just going to be a force from day one.
Joseph Evans. We didn't get to see a bunch of Jacobian Guillory. He was injured, 6'2", 344. And then on the edge, I would love to see those guys come back as well, because, I think they can continue to put in, and you're bringing some good edge rushers in as well. With you got Ray Thornton at an end. I'd love to see him come back. You're bringing in some good guys as well. I want to see most of those defensive guys come back, and I think we will see a good bit. I rewatched the Florida LSU game over the weekend. Damone Clark looked really good in that Florida game, and I didn't grade the tape like the coaches do, but I thought he looked good. Allie Gay looked good. B.J. Ojulari. Andre Anthony is the wild card of this group. He can make himself some money. He's not a small guy. He's a prototypical defensive end, 6'3", 255. He's a senior, but obviously he can come back. I would love to see Andre Anthony come back.
That'd be huge. Be a sixth year though, and that's a lot to ask for some guys, but it's not unprecedented. I mean, people have definitely done it before.
De'Aaron King's doing it.
De'Aaron King is doing it, and that's a huge get for Miami to get him back on campus. That was massive yesterday when he announced
sees ACC within the grips of Miami, I think.
He does. And
Clemson's going to be there. They got the quarterback. I can't pronounce his name.
DJ Uiagalelei.
There you go. And he's going to be good. He's no Trevor Lawrence, but he's going to be good, and Clemson will be back. And last one before we take a break, Eric Gilbert. You and I were talking about him. We could get Danny in on this one as well. My feeling is, this is just my feeling. I don't know anything. Nobody's told me anything. I'm not reading Tiger droppings or anything like that. It just doesn't. It's just silent right now. We're not hearing anything about him even hinting that he may come back.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much surrounding that whole situation. I know LSU would love to get him back. I know the LSU fans would love to have him back. I mean, we saw plenty of what he could do. The Missouri game definitely sticks out. Another play that sticks out a lot is the first game against Mississippi State, where Brennan kind of threw the ball up when he was under heavy pressure, and Gilbert went up and made the play. I mean, we had enough evidence on tape this year of Eric Gilbert, why he was so dominant and why LSU was so happy when he committed to the school. I know he's a guy they would love to get back, and we're just going to have to wait and see how that one plays out.
Don't go anywhere. On the other side of this break, we'll have Coach Butch Pierre. Coach Butch Pierre, head basketball coach at Northwest State Florida College. That's not why we're going to have him on. He's not going to talk about them. He's a former LSU basketball assistant coach. He was an interim coach in 2008 season. He went 5-5, and when he relieved Coach John Brady, they formed a great duo with LSU. I have a little bit of history with him. I'll bring that up. But he's a speaker and an author. He's a motivational speaker. He's got a great book out there, Growing Up Great: Life Lessons and Coaching. And this is a guy I want to bring on. You can hear about him next on OTB.
OTB.
Football's back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as the New England Patriots host the Buffalo Bills. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hello?
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up?
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up! Roof's up!
Roof's up!
Roof's up?
Roof's up!
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True. To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Join us for a Monday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Ivar Sports Bar. We give our take on Week 16 in the NFL. Saints clinch their 4th straight division title, and we look ahead to the rest of the week. Game Time, 6 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Back on OTB OT, Troy LaBeouf sitting in for Jordy Collada. And no, I'm sorry, I keep saying that. Sitting in for T-Bob Hebert for OTB OT. He's a solo host, Han Solo, as his Star Wars references. I may go back, watch Mandalorian a little bit. Danny may have convinced me of it. We'll see. Gave up on it a little bit too early. OTB OT. We'll go to the phone lines now. Bring on my good friend, a guy that I look up to, a guy that I've had a history with, Coach Butch Pierre. Coach Pierre, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. How you doing, Troy?
I'm doing fantastic. Great to hear your voice. Coach Pierre, former LSU assistant coach from 1997 to 2008. Had an interim, finish out the season in 2008 as the interim head coach from Coach John Brady. But a guy that I had a chance to be with my freshman year. I'm dating myself, Coach. It was USL at the time, 1989. I got to be a student, assistant, manager, whatever you want to call it, at USL. It's obviously ULL. Now I'm going to get all of you Lafayette people mad at me, but had a chance to be with you then. Happy to have you on the show, and tell the folks what's going on with Butch Pierre now.
Oh, well, I tell you, it's been a long, great journey for me. You know, it's coaching 30 years, and like you said, at UL, which was USL at the time, and, you know, won all those conference championships, Sun Belt Conference championships, and games in the NCAA tournament, man. It was good. I always thought doing something special at those schools were a special place for me. But what I'm now doing, I'm the head men's basketball coach at Northwest State College down in Florida, Niceville, about 12 miles from my home, actually, in Destin, Florida. You know, I bought a home there 12 years ago, so it wasn't much of a transition for me, but I'm really enjoying it, giving back some of the things that I've learned over the years to some guys that really need it.
Visiting with Coach Butch Pierre. You can follow him on Twitter. You definitely want to give him a follow at Butch Pierre. Coach, real quick before we get into some other stuff, the Northwest Florida Raiders, the season, looking at the schedule, the season will begin in January 23rd. Is that correct?
Yes, January 20th. We played a couple of scrimmage games in the fall. You know, you allow 6 scrimmage games before you open up the season. So we play 3 scrimmage games then, and then we'll play a couple of more before January 20th. And then we got a 22-game schedule, which we kind of worked through all the COVID stuff in the fall and some of the same things all these teams are going through. So we'll start then in the Panhandle.
Coach, I want to take you back to your time at LSU. You and John Brady formed a duo that won a lot of games at LSU, and you guys had so many great players. You were a great recruiter, great on-court coach as well. Reflect back on your time at LSU.
Well, obviously it was a great time for me and my family, being a Louisiana guy coming up in Louisiana, growing up in Louisiana rather, and 25 miles from Tiger Stadium, a little town, Darrow, Louisiana. I went to San Moore High School, and it was just something that was very good. My kids were 4 and 3 at the time, and we spent 11 beautiful years down at LSU. And we got there in a transition stage right after Dale Brown, and we was able to put together some high-quality teams and teams to go deep in the NCAA tournament and Final Four and win SEC championships and division championships and, Elite Eights and a ton of NBA guys and lottery picks and things like that. So we changed guys' lives, and a lot of those guys are alumni and they fathers and husbands and teachers and coaches and just family guys. And I'm in touch with most of those guys. They call me all throughout the year. And John and I spend a lot of time together because he actually has a home here in Destin, too. So, when he's not doing the radio for LSU, he's down here with me playing golf and hanging out. So it's a lifetime memory for me. But LSU has been great. It's a great program, as always. And, football, basketball, all the sports are Power 5 and at the elite level. And, shame that we're going through this today, but my time at LSU was very special, and my daughter about to get a PhD from LSU in February and March, and it's just one of those things. She's the principal down there at Sacred Heart, and it always will be something positive in the Pierre's life with LSU.
Speaking of Pierre's, the Twins, tell us what the Twins are doing.
Well, those twin boys, they kind of followed in my footsteps. It's one of the things that I didn't encourage them to do. And they were just around basketball, as we know, ball boys and all the camps and around the coaching when we were at LSU. And it was a special time because we were always winning and competing for championships and stuff. So it was pretty positive for us children of kids of a coach. And so they pursued basketball opportunities. Joseph was tore his ACL. He was the better player of the two, and he was a closer player than I was. But he tore his ACL, and at Oklahoma State, he was a manager for 4 years and graduated. And then I sent him off with Kermit Davis at Middle Tennessee for 2 years, where they won 30 games each year, and he beat Michigan, and he got his master's from there and learned under Kermit, and had an opportunity to go to Ole Miss, but he went to Liberty with a friend of mine, and he's been to two NCAA tournaments over there and won a lot of games, and he's a full-time assistant at Liberty now, so he's able to recruit and coach on the floor and do all that. Something I wasn't able to do at 27 years old. And Josh, he played at Arkansas State, under Coach Brady, and later on was assistant coach there. Went to Mississippi State as a video coordinator. Now he's a assistant coach at Elon in North Carolina. So but Josh is married. He's been married for about 6 months now, and so they both assistant coaches and loving basketball and got great families.
Coach, you mentioned you and Coach Brady playing golf, visiting with Coach Butch Pierre, former LSU assistant coach now with the Raiders in Northwest Florida. Ed Johnson asked in our YouTube chat, he was at USL during your time as well, just like I was. Asked Coach about the dunk contest he was in at USL. What is he talking about, Coach?
Well, back then I could dunk now.
He could still play. I watched him in practice. He would get after the guys in practice, I promise you.
Yeah, at that time I'm in pretty good shape now. I don't play anymore and jump 2 feet over the rim anymore. But that's one of the things I used to always do when I was in my youth years when I was coaching my first 20 years, is dunk balls for players and stuff like that when I got aggravated at them.
That was quite often, but he was somebody. I remember Coach Pierre telling me, if you really want to be in this profession, We're going to show you how to do it. And, you know, obviously I went on and did high school, didn't do college, but he told me, he said, I'll take you wherever I go if you're willing to work. And that's going to bring me to my next point, Coach. Growing up great, life lessons and coaching. And I learned a lot of lessons, albeit only one semester there at USL. I learned a lot of lessons from you and Coach Fletcher. That's your book, Growing Up Great, Life Lessons and Coaching. Tell the listeners about that and what's your message?
Well, I guess 3 years ago, my kids were contemplating and talking about coaching, and it was Christmas time, and they just said that, Dad, we're going to be more famous than you are. And I was like, famous? And I was like, nah, nobody really know who your dad is. He's just one of those guys that recruit players and you know, a great salesman, and that's what a lot of people think, because I never really told people about myself, or I was one of those self-identifying type guys that promote myself. And I was always promoting the program, the head coach, and trying to get the guys better. So I just said, what I do is I write a book. And immediately my daughter said, whoa, now what you going to put in it? And so I started telling my life story, growing up in Louisiana and all the life lessons I learned as from my dad, my mom, and my community, and at high school, and going through racial issues, and just to the peer pressure of growing up in society in the 70s and the 80s and things like that. And then all of a sudden, all the things that were going on in the world today with, with all the stuff happening with race issues and kids making bad decisions and social media and all these things, I said I was going to turn it into a life lessons book. So I just kind of wanted to share all those things with people just to let them know who I was in the meantime, but also, if somebody could pick up the book and read it and understand, the values and the life lessons and my 10 steps for success and what I really go by and how I raise my kids and how I recruit by and my core beliefs and all those types of things. And it was just something that I did. It wasn't a money thing either. I just wanted to share it and everybody got a better outlook who I was or who I am, but also you can read it and kind of take it and say, hey, you can make mistakes. It's just not a matter of making mistakes, but it's learning from them and learning life lessons and moving on and getting better as a human being and contribute to society.
Well said, Coach. ButchPierre.com. You can check out ButchPierre.com. Growing Up Great, Life Lessons and Coaching. Get you a copy. It'll be well worth it. Available now on Amazon and our shop. That's ButchPierre.com. Coach, this was a pleasure, man. It was great hearing your voice. You and I have texted over the years, but we finally got a chance to talk and just chat a little bit, and not only talk about LSU, but talk about especially what's going on in the world, as you said right now. And I know we're all going to come out better from all of this, and I know you will be a great fit with the Raiders as y'all will get y'all basketball season started next month, and I wish you all the best. And you and Coach Brady keep swinging the sticks together.
Well, I appreciate it, and like I say, it's a lifelong memories for me, and hopefully one of these days I get back to Louisiana, because I would like to end my career coaching in Louisiana and contribute to where I was growing up the same way I felt about UL and LSU. So it's just so many great programs and people from Louisiana, particularly young culture. That's what I want to do. Finish my career down in Louisiana.
Well, we'd be lucky to get you back down here, Coach. Well wishes to you and the family, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and thanks, Troy, for having me on.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Coach Butch Pierre, guy I admire. Check it out, his website, ButchPierre.com. We'll put a wrap on today's show, O2B OT. We'll be right back.
OTB OT.
Football's back. Tune in Sunday as we kick off Week 17 in the NFL when the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers at noon. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
One thing you can always count on this time of year is Happy Honda Days at Richards Honda. With year-end clearance prices on every vehicle in stock. Save thousands on some of the best, most awarded vehicles on the road. And shop the way you feel comfortable. At the dealership or online with home delivery. So everyone can take advantage of Happy Honda Days. No wonder people call Richards Honda the smart choice. I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
If I built a van, It would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I build a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4Kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Gade Voisin. From our entire team at Hanging with Hester and Henny, Charles Hannegriff, Jacob Hester, Paul O'Neill, Josh Ward, and myself, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Join us on Monday from noon to 3, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Final segment here on OTB OT. I hope you have enjoyed it. Answer a couple of questions in the YouTube chat. Yeah, the guys are off. They'll be off until January the 4th. So you got me. You got me, Moose, and Danny. So we're going to try to bring you some good content. The guest today, you can go back and listen to all the sound on demand, 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. AFR today, Moose, it'll be Ron Higgins from Tiger Rag. Is that correct?
That's correct. Ron Higgins today.
Caught him in a yawn right there.
You did catch me in a yawn.
And coming to an end, and some people will be upset, some people will be happy. Lebatard and Stugatz will be finishing up. Their last show is January 4th, which is the Monday, 1 week from today. And moving into that time slot will be Mike Greenberg, starting on January 5th 10 to 12, and that'll be the precursor to Hester and Hanny.
Yeah. So yes, I think it is the 4th. That is the end of Dan Le Batard.
How you guys feel about that?
I'm indifferent. I mean, I've listened to his show before. It's fine. I mean, I don't I'm not a I wouldn't say I have to hear it. But I mean, if I'm thumbing through the stations and it's on, I'll listen to it.
Yeah, how about you, Danny?
I really like Dan Le Batard and Stu Gatz. I thought it was like a nice change of pace to the regular ESPN people, and like they had fun with it. Like it was just like a relaxed show.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never really could get into it. I tried, but I am looking forward to Greeny. I'm in the car a lot with my job, so in and out. Cannot confirm Hester and Hanny today, Moose. We cannot confirm. No. I don't think Hester will be on.
No, I know Hanny is out, and Hester will be back on Tuesday. So they are not here today. I'm not entirely sure who's hosting their show.
Okay, so you have to tune in at noon. It'll be a surprise, but I'm sure it'll be good hosts as well. Greg Lehman, he's headed out of town, so you can't listen. Yes, you can, Greg. You can. How can he listen, Moose?
104.5 ESPN app, the mobile app. Do it, Greg.
Yeah, you can listen to all the shows that way. I certainly appreciate the guys pressing the buttons and all the video and everything today. Thank all of our guests. Check them out. Rod Walker of The Advocate, Times Picayune, Matt Zenitz of senior SEC football writer, AL.com, Butch Pierre and Jeff Palermo as well. All can be heard on demand. Be back with you tomorrow. We have Robert Valdez of St. James. He's the head coach for Savion Jones. We'll talk about him. Nick Underhill will be talking Saints. We'll do that tomorrow on Off the Bench.
OTB